What is up, YouTube? Welcome to Fall in Line Podcast. If you guys can please remember to hit that like and subscribe button. That's where the magic happens, right behind me. Enjoy the show. All right, welcome back to another episode of Fall in Line Podcast. I'm Ross. I'm here with my boys Austin and TT. Say what's up, fellas. Let them know how you're feeling after this week.
Feeling great.
Yeah,
I feel great.
It's a whole different vibe this week.
Yeah. We look good one half of the football game. Hopefully it sparks the rest of our season. So
you guys did have a phenomenal comeback. How you feeling about your team?
Good. It was a lot of. My team played good. We snuck one out. Looked good. It was a lot of comebacks. So it was a fun football Sunday. So
I didn't put on this jersey for nothing. My boy Amon-Ra St. Brown came through for the Lions to get us our first dub of the year over the Commanders. You love to see it. So, we need to talk about our pick'ems this week because we were so down on ourselves last week. We said we're going to have a bounce back week, and I think that's exactly what we did. Mm-hmm. We're sitting here with TT. You were 9-7.
Missed my lock. It's fine. I'm gonna win the rest of the season.
I love to hear it.
But yeah, definitely a bounce back week in my
compared to last week.
And
your bank account did well this weekend.
Yeah, did pretty well.
Love to hear it. Austin also sat at 9-7.
Yeah, my luck was not good. Jameis, he got made fun of on the bus after, and it was just not a good week for the Saints.
Yeah, it was not a good week for them. And your boy, the two-time 2-0 W belt winner, myself with a 10-6 record, and I hit my lock. Shout out Detroit Lions on the lock right there. I love you boys. I knew I could count on you. Let's get it. I will keep this here if you guys don't mind.
You know what they say, win early, lose late.
I can't let it happen anymore.
Where it belongs.
I know
right there. All right, boys. Well, just like last week, let's talk about who do you guys have as your most surprising win of last week?
You want me to go first?
Yeah, you can go.
My most surprising one of the week is going to be the Cowboys. You lose Dak Prescott. Your team just didn't look good all around week one. Cooper Rush comes in. I don't know. What do you guys say? He lit up the Bengals a little bit?
He played well.
I'll say he played well enough for the win, which is what really matters. I don't know if the Bengals are just maybe a one-and-done type of team, or if the Cowboys just went out there and Cooper Rush played with, a little fire under his butt. But that's going to be my pick.
Yeah, mine's the Bucs going against my lock, but they did it and they proved me wrong. They showed that they had some guys out and they could still go out there and get a win. Defense looked good. Defensive secondary locked down. Those good wide receivers, so yeah, it was a good win for them.
Yeah, I got to go with the Jags. I know we've all been so high on the Colts. I think that's going to switch up a little bit because of what they did, but 24-0. 24-0 with the Jags.
Yeah.
That is as impressive as it gets in my mind. I know that the Colts aren't that good of a team. I'm not going to go as far as to say they're terrible, but I'm not a big fan right now of how they're performing. Trevor Lawrence had a great game, 25 for 30, 235 yards and 2 TDs. I think he's taking that next stride. That is my most impressive win.
I will say on that note, though, Christian Kirk might be worth the money if he keeps playing the way he's playing so far to start off this year.
Absolutely. And then let's go most impressive win. TT, why don't you go ahead and start us off on that one?
Well, that's an easy pick for me. My most impressive win is going to be us. The Cardinals. We're down 20 at half. We pay our quarterback $230 million, and he hasn't looked like that $230 million at all to start off this year. But with that being said, you could see that it kind of lit a little fire under his butt, and he really just – it seemed like he finally got the leadership that I've been looking for since he really started playing. Yeah. That's the way a $230 million quarterback should play. Mm-hmm. So coming back, you win that. Still a little skeptical about our defense, although we did hold Devontae Adams to 2 catches for, I want to say, was 12 yards.
Worst game of his career.
Worst game of his career. Byron Murphy. That's what you get for playing that good of a game. You get the game-winning touchdown, man. So
that was awesome.
Huge win for us. I hope that starts our season off.
Yep. Yeah. Mine's got to be the Dolphins. They were down by a lot, and they battled and came back and Tua's got to be my winner of the week because everybody was doubting him, and he showed that he could make something. I mean, he had a long ball that was shorter than wide receiver. We had to go back and get it, but still, he was able to get the job done, and that Dolphins defense looked good.
Yeah, it sure did. I gotta go, and this isn't gonna shock anyone with saying the Chiefs were my most impressive win. Taking on the Chargers, who everyone is very high on. Obviously, everyone's high on the Chiefs as well. But I just think the Chiefs looked very good in that game. Chargers scored a late touchdown that made the game look a lot closer than it was. I feel like the Chiefs had that game handled, for quite a while. That 100-yard pick six really turned everything around. The Chargers looked very good for most of that game. But, I mean, the Chiefs they flexed their muscles in that game and really said, we're still here. We're not going anywhere just yet. Do I think that it'll be the same story later in the year? I don't. I don't know what's going to happen later in the year, but I think those two teams are going to be going. They're going to be going at it for sure.
Yeah, that was another comeback too, down 10-0 in the first quarter, and they battled back. So.
Yeah, and it sounds like Herbert
is the week of the comeback.
Herbert's got that injury, but he's
got those ribs. Yeah,
should be fine or not fine. You're not gonna be fine. That's gonna hurt.
Yeah,
but it sounds like he'll be back, able to play. They're gonna basically give him the week off from practice.
Yep.
So.
All right. Let's get into it. Let's go to the next week of games here. Starting out with a Thursday night matchup, a big rivalry game here. Again, we just want to remind everyone, we're going to say our locks of the week during this. If you guys want to win that $50 Amazon gift card, you need to comment your lock below, and you need to have a better record than us for at least 10 weeks. And, we might, if it comes down to it, just throw everyone's name in a hat and then draw it. Even if you don't do the 10 weeks, it depends on how many people participate. We'd like to get you guys in there for 10 weeks, but what the main thing is we want you guys to comment below and have some fun with us. Let us know what you guys are thinking and possibly help us win some bets in the future. But yeah, let's move on to this. And all of the lines that we are saying are at the time of this podcast. They are subject to change, so don't take it to heart if we say a line and it does switch because someone gets hurt later in the week. We have to go off of what it is right now, so we do apologize in advance. Steelers at Browns. The Browns favored by 5. A good Thursday night football match here. Austin, why don't you go ahead and start us off on this one?
I'm taking Cleveland to win at home. I think not having T.J. Watt's going to hurt the Steelers quite a bit, and Cleveland's defense is good, so I like Cleveland to win at home.
This is kind of a toss-up for me, too. I'm going to take the Browns here. I think them not having T.J. Watt's going to hurt a lot. And I think it's going to just be a straight defensive game. Hopefully the Browns hold on to this one, though. So,
yeah. I'm going with the Browns as well. I know that they dropped the one to the Jets in heartbreaking fashion. I do think that they are still showing that they are a good team. I've been impressed with them the first 2 weeks, regardless of what happened the last 2 minutes of the last game. I'm going Browns at home in this game. I think that -5 is pretty generous, but I think the Browns do win straight up.
Yeah.
So that does it for our Thursday night game.
Yeah, Jacoby looked good too. He got the job done, and on the other side, Najee hasn't looked good. So
yeah, so we're expecting some people to step up. If the Steelers are going to win, some people really got to start stepping up.
Yeah, you can't just do this dump and dive stuff. It's not going to work. I know a lot of Steeler fans. There's a lot of them out there, and they were pretty ticked off this week.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the Sunday noon games here. Starting out with the Texans at the Bears. Bears are favored by 2.5 in this game. Go ahead, TT.
All right. Well, I usually will never do this again in my life, probably, but shout out to my whole Abeta family. I'm gonna go Chicago on this one. They're at home. I really want Chicago just to let Justin Fields just start. Let him throw the ball. 11 passing attempts, and he was down 17, 80% of the game.
It's embarrassing.
I mean, he has 28. I read a stat line today. He has 28 attempts on the season. Every other team in the NFL has at least 28 completions.
Yeah, I read that too. That's insane.
Come on, you give the guy a first-round draft pick. Let him play
ball. You don't draft the guy to hand the ball off.
Let him play ball.
I agree.
And then also, fix your play calling. But I do think that he's going to play a little bit better this week. I got Chicago winning because they're at home, and that's it.
Yep.
You want to go next, man?
Yeah, I'll go next. One thing that really stuck out to me is bouncing off what you said, TZ, how much they like to run the ball here. I did see that the Texans have the worst run defense statistically by yards. I looked that up earlier today. So I think that if they do want to stick to their method, I do think that eventually makes them the winner of this game. I am going to go ahead and pick the Bears here. I like their ability to run with Montgomery as well as Fields if they want. And yeah, I'm going with the Bears here.
Yeah, I like Chicago as well. I'm sticking with you guys. I just think they have the better weapons, and I think Fields needs to let it go. He needs to have faith in Mooney and Kmet. I can see Kmet getting a touchdown this game because he has one catch all season. He needs to start getting him involved.
Does he have one?
2, yeah.
Okay, because
last
I
game
have him
was
on fantasy.
1 for -4 yards.
I would say he has no yards. I know this.
You had more yards than Mooney last game.
No,
Kmet.
Oh, I thought you were talking. Did you say something about Mooney?
Kmet.
Oh,
Yeah,
Kmet.
Mooney needs to step
Mooney
up.
had -4 yards last game.
Well, yeah, I mean, you have like one target the whole game.
Yeah.
Can't really do
This
it.
could be the game though, facing the Texans defense.
They need
who's
a game
very
to get
suspect.
going. And I do want to correct myself. They have one of the worst run defenses, not the worst run defense, the Texans. So I want to correct that. But moving on, let's go Raiders at Titans. Raiders somehow favored by 2. I don't know how it's only 2.
Yeah.
But why don't you go ahead and start us off on this?
So that makes this my lock of the week.
Oh.
Because it is only 2 points. All they have to do is win by a field goal to a Titans team that just
Let us know.
Titans team who just got absolutely embarrassed last night.
Let's go.
Monday night against the Bills. But yeah, I think Las Vegas has the offense to put up points on them, and that Titans defense is just awful. Tribbles hasn't done anything.
Comment your lock below. If you agree with Austin, comment it below. It still counts. If you disagree, comment it below. We want to hear your guys' locks for this week. TT, what are you feeling about this one?
Raiders. I mean,
Yeah.
Henry doesn't look good. He looks like he's still scared after he got hurt last season. I mean, what?
Give my boy Hassan some touches.
Yeah, I honestly think you got to start doing something with that team. On a side note, though, how much longer do you think before we see Malik Willis get a start or actually getting real playing time instead of garbage time?
Yeah, we saw him last week.
Yeah, I know we saw him last.
I don't think we're too far away if they look like that again.
That was embarrassing.
Those are games they've always competed in the past few years.
On prime time.
And, and that was something that that was bad.
Yeah, I got Raiders and I'm taking that spread too.
Yeah. I got the Raiders here. For our own good, I'm going to be less confident in it because every time we're super confident about a game, we're wrong. Yeah. So I'll say I'm feeling the Raiders here. I don't know by how much, but yeah, I agree with everything you guys said here. That -2 is very eye-popping to me. But yeah, I'm going Raiders. Let's move on. Chiefs at Colts here. Chiefs are favored by a touchdown, favored by 7 here. I mean, I can start this one.
Yep, you haven't started yet.
Yeah, I am off the Colts bandwagon. I'm done with it until I see a difference here. Until I see something that makes me feel different about them because they don't look good anywhere right now. Yeah. So Chiefs it is, and it's as simple as that. I think the Chiefs could win by 100.
Yeah, I am picking the Chiefs this week, but the NFL is just so weird. This could be so much money on the Chiefs, and then the Colts end up winning it somehow. So
any given Sunday.
Yeah, I'm taking the Chiefs, but eventually the Colts have to figure it out. And I don't know if it's this week or next week, but the Chiefs take this one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go Chiefs here too. The Colts haven't looked good. The offensive line I thought was the best in the league. They haven't looked dominant at all. You went away from your running game, which is literally what your team is. You're a running team. You can't do that. I got the Colts. I got the Chiefs, not the Colts. Chiefs. And I just think this is the Colts. They're really starting to take a lot of people off. So yeah,
agreed. All right, Bills at Dolphins. This is probably the most interesting game of the week. I think this is the most high-powered game of the week for sure. Bills are favored by 5.5. That line, that is an impressive line for the Bills. That is impressive. To be favored by 5.5 over the Dolphins at the Dolphins.
Is it though?
I know, that's what I'm saying. They've looked the part. So with that being said, I'm going Bills. I don't see anyone in this league right now beating them the way that they're playing. There's not anyone you can show me on this list where I'm like, yeah, they'll beat the Bills. The Bills are the best team in football right now and the clear Super Bowl favorites 2 weeks into the season. I don't want to get too dramatic, but we picked them before the season. I'm sticking with it because they have not disappointed at all. Bills in this game. I love the Bills in this game.
Yeah, I got Bills too. I have Bills looking like they might not lose a game. They might not lose a quarter. I mean, they might not give up a lead at all this season.
Look that good.
They look that good. Stephon Diggs is unreal right now.
Shout out to my fantasy team.
That connection with him and Allen right now is unreal. The defense looked good. I know they lost Hyde in the corner. Johnson, I think it's Daniel Johnson.
It's like Jackson.
Something
the
like
one
that.
Hurt his neck.
Yeah, Tremaine Edmonds was headhunting on that one. That was bad.
Mm-hmm.
But even with that, they still have good backups and everything else to cover behind them. I got the Bills.
It's Dane Jackson.
Okay.
Wishing for a speedy recovery. He's already out of the hospital.
Yeah, they released him this morning. They said right away he had movement and everything.
Yeah, which is very good to hear.
I've had an injury like that. It's scary.
Yeah.
You gotta
hoping for
be
the
blessed,
best.
man. Yeah.
So you know what, guys? We've taken all the same picks on everyone, and I was on the fence a little bit on this one with the Dolphins at home. So I have a hot take alert, and I'm going with the Dolphins at home.
Hot take.
I thought the Bills would. They're not going to win every single game, so this is one of them that I think that the Dolphins are a tough team. They're hot. They had a nice comeback last week. I think Tua stays hot, and the Dolphins find a way to win the shootout.
Okay.
That's how you win the belt right there.
Yeah,
That's how you do
chances.
it. I love that. I love that you did that because, like you said, undefeated seasons do not happen, and they've rarely happened. So if this is a game that you can see, if they're going to lose a game this season,
I was thinking, man, I might have to switch up the pick because we're all going.
We're too confident. Next game, the Detroit Lions at Vikings. Vikings favored by 5.5 here. Line started at 7.5 and dropped to 5.5 here, so it's trending in the Lions' direction. I'll let you guys start with this one. TT, why don't you go ahead?
I'll start, man.
I'm saying I gotta go Vikings. They looked awful last week, but I think that they bounce back and look like the week one selves. I think Dalvin Cook gets going. Justin Jefferson is not gonna have a week like he had last week. I mean, he had 10 fantasy points, but that's just, I think he's way better than that.
Lions don't have a Darius Slay anymore.
Yeah.
I mean,
they do have a Okuda.
We used to until
they do have an Okuda that can lock him up. But
Okuda's been playing well.
Thielen and Luke Smith look good.
This one was up in the air for me. I mean, I love the way the Lions have started the season. The running games look good. Goff hasn't looked bad at all. I think if the Lions were at home, I know we had talked about that, Ross, I would possibly lean a little towards the Lions. I'm going to lean towards the Vikings this week. I'm going to take them. It's a game I'd stay away from because you don't know what's going to happen. Do we get the Vikings we got against the Eagles, or do we get the Vikings we got against the Packers?
Right,
yeah.
You don't know.
You don't know.
It's not even the Vikings. It's the Kirk Cousins.
It is. Mm-hmm. It is. I mean, Slay's out there somewhere. Let's just give him the ball, huh?
Yeah.
But, yeah, I got to go Vikings here just because they're at home.
Yeah. So going into this week, I was dead set on the Vikings. I thought they were the best team in our division. I thought that they were going to be, and they still might be. They had a rough week. Everyone watched what happened last night. They played a good Eagles team, who the Lions did play better. The Lions played the Eagles much better. The Lions have impressed me this year, but I am going Vikings in this game. I think that the Lions are improved. I don't know if they're improved enough to beat a team that's favored by 5.5 at home yet. It really depends on what Kirk Cousins shows up, just like you guys said. Are we going to get week 1 or week 2 Kirk Cousins?
Yeah.
Are we going to get Kirk Cousins making stupid throws, turning over the ball in the red zone? Then, yeah, the Lions might win the game, but I don't expect that to happen again. I expect Justin Jefferson to have another great game. Yeah, I'm going Vikings in this game here. I do think it's going to be a very good game. But, yeah, that pains me to say when I'm doing it. This isn't a biased podcast, all right? We go off of what we believe.
Yep.
Ravens at Patriots. Ravens -3. And because it's not a biased podcast, I'm going to go with Baltimore. If it was a biased podcast, I would go with my Pats, but I think that Baltimore offense just has way too much. We're not going to be able to contain Lamar Jackson, Bateman, Duvernay. They just have, not to mention Mark Andrews, they just have They have too many weapons for us to handle, and I hope. Yeah.
They just got so many weapons.
Yeah. I hope we can keep it close, but yeah, I just can't see us pulling it off. So I'm going Baltimore.
I'm going to go Baltimore too. I just don't think. I'm sorry to say this, man, but you guys haven't looked good to me.
They looked good last week.
I mean, yeah, you looked okay. I thought it was just kind of a really boring game between you guys and the Steelers.
Yeah, that's weird.
But I like what Baltimore's doing so far. Yeah, they gave up the lead, but even before that, they were shredding the Dolphins to start the game. So, I got Baltimore.
Yeah, Ravens come out pissed off after blowing that game last week. I'm going Ravens, pretty simple. I do like the Patriots' chances, but I think the Ravens win the game. Let's move on to two teams that had opposite feelings last week. One team that won at the buzzer and one team that lost at the buzzer. Bengals at Jets. Bengals are favored by 5 in this game. Bengals need to wake up. They need to wake up quick. They were in the Super Bowl last year, had very high expectations this year, and they just simply have not looked the part. That revamped offensive line is going to get Burrow hurt eventually here. He has no time back there. They haven't looked the same. They need to wake up and wake up quick is what I'm going to say here. I'm picking the Bengals because I do think that this is the week that they do wake up. Burrow needs to play better, and him and Jamar Chase they had a great week 1, but they need to be the ones that turn this thing around here. So I'm going Bengals.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that they wake up this week against the Jets, and they put up points this week because they have to. I mean, give Joe a little bit of time and see what he can do.
Yeah, I don't think the Jets have the pass rush that the Bengals have faced some of these other teams. So I'm going to go Bengals here too. I mean, if they lose this game, I think I don't know if I touch them the rest of the season.
Yeah.
I mean, this is Joe Burr is really Joe Burr right now. So, I mean, but I will take the Bengals again this week just because of who they're playing.
Yeah, I agree. It's a make or break game on the season.
Yeah.
If the Bengals are going to make the playoffs, they have to win this game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Let's go Eagles at Commanders. Eagles favored by 4.5 in this game.
Hottest team in football right now. I mean, how can you go against them after seeing what they did last night? Jalen Hurts looks amazing. A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith woke up, like I said last week. So I'm taking the Eagles, no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, it's the easier pick of the week. One of the easier picks of the week, I would say. I mean, it is a division game. Could go either way, I guess you could say. But I got the Eagles. They look good. I'm sorry for slandering Jalen Hurts at the beginning of the year. I don't know if you're just on a hot streak or maybe you are the real deal. But I got the Eagles in this one, and I think they cover that 4.5.
Yeah, that's it too.
Yeah, so the Commanders, they showed a lot of life in the second half last week against the Lions. They are at home. I simply don't care. Eagles minus 4.5. Lock of the week right here. I don't care what the Commanders look like in the second half. Eagles are the hottest team in football right now. I can't ignore what they just did to the Vikings last night. Fly, Eagles, fly. That's my lock.
Eagles fly.
All right. And moving on from that. Saints at Panthers. Saints only favored by 3 in this one. Panthers have looked terrible this year.
Yeah.
Baker has not looked good this year.
No.
Saints looked bad last week as well. Both teams did not look good this year. I mean, the Saints have been fine. Panthers have not been fine. And that's basically what I'm picking it off of. Saints need to be better. Jameis needs to be better. Saints win this week. I do think that they are the better team.
Okay. So they dropped a little bit of an injury update last week before the game that Jameis has 4 fractures or something in his back. But it can't get any worse for him, so the season doesn't get any worse this week for him. I got the Saints. Hand me the hammer.
Oh, come on.
Saints with the lock at -3 against the Panthers. The Panthers haven't looked good. Baker hasn't looked good. The defense doesn't look like they even want to play right now. You lost to the Giants. who might be good, who knows, but still, I got the Saints -3. I think they take it.
Yeah, one big thing about last week as well is that Alvin Kamara is out. So after getting him back, I think the Saints win this game.
Yeah. That hurts an offense a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just don't think that the Panthers have the defense to contain Olave and Mike Thomas, Juice. There's just too much talent on offense.
All right, let's go late afternoon games. We got the Jags at the Chargers. Chargers favored by a touchdown on this one. Jags have a lot to be excited about with their team.
They do.
They have looked the part of being a team that's on the up and coming. That's what you look for when you're drafting where they have been. It's hard to believe this team was contending for a Super Bowl just a couple of years ago, but they have fallen hard. This looks like a good start to the year for them, a promising start. I just think the Chargers are too much to handle. Chargers are at home. Chargers are playing good football right now. They lost one to one of the best teams in football in the Chiefs, but I think that this week they win easily.
Yeah, I almost went Chargers locked, was my lock this week.
Yeah.
But after the performance the Jags gave last week, I do think the Chargers win. But the Chargers are a -7 this week, which is a little bit scary to me. You never know in the NFL. I mean, they just beat the Colts, who everyone thought was going to be great this year, 24-0. So it wouldn't surprise me if they even kept it within 7. But I think the Chargers are a way better team than the Colts. I think and they're at home. I got the Chargers.
Yeah, same with me. I'm going Los Angeles Chargers. Big win for the Jags, but the Los Angeles did have that extended time off to get healthy. So I think that's, especially with I think Keenan Allen will be back as well. So that'll definitely help out because they were missing him. I mean, Michael Williams looked good, but I think having Keenan Allen will definitely help them.
Yeah. We're doing a little bit too much agreeing on this podcast right here. It's not good.
All right, well, I'll start off this next one then.
All right, let's go Rams at Cardinals. Rams favored by 4.
Oh, man.
Arizona. I don't have to say anything else. Yeah, I know we're not trying to be biased. I'm not trying to be biased. The Rams haven't necessarily impressed me too much. You let the Falcons come back. I feel like at this point, the Cardinals and Rams are. I would say the Rams are a better team, but maybe we have a spark lit underneath us this week. So Kyler Murray, lead the team like you led him in the second half against the Raiders. Man, you scored 23 points in one half against the Raiders. The defense, you held Devontae Adams to 2 catches. Why can't we stop? If we could stop the best wide receiver and a really good quarterback, why can't we stop the Rams? I mean, come on.
Who also has the best receiver?
Yeah. But still, I think Devontae Adams is more of a threat than Cooper Kupp. Stafford hasn't really impressed me too much this year.
Better watch out.
Stafford hasn't impressed me either.
Go ahead.
So I don't completely agree. I'm sticking with the LA teams. Yeah, they just have too much on offense, and that Arizona defense has not looked good for me. And Kyler Murray just did not look good that first half. And when you have Aaron Donald going to be chasing them down, they have way more that can contain. And yeah, so I'm going to the Rams.
Well, TT and I have picked every game the same on this podcast so far. We have none different. I was going to go Cardinals. I got to go Rams.
You were going to go Cardinals.
I was going to go Cardinals because I the same points you made. The Rams have not looked the part. They got demolished by the Bills. They almost let the Falcons come back.
Yeah.
But I mean, we just can't do it. We can't have it on the podcast. We gotta have it different. So I'm going with my boy Stafford. There's only one way to win this belt, and that's to be different. So I'm gonna be different here. I'm going Rams on this pick.
It's not a bad pick too.
I appreciate it because I definitely thought you guys would both go Rams.
No, I was gonna go Cardinals, but Rams. Let's go. Falcons at Seahawks. Seahawks favored by 2 in this game. Seahawks are at home. Go ahead and start us off.
I'm going with the Falcons. I mean, you guys said it. They almost came back last week. Well, Mariota, not bad, but Drake London's looked amazing. Defenses look solid, and I just think the Seahawks are still figuring themselves out. Even though they're at home, I still think the Falcons.
They look good at home.
Yeah.
I got Falcons too. The offense hasn't looked incredibly awful for the Falcons. I mean, I didn't necessarily think it would this year. I don't think Marcus Mariota's a bad quarterback. I think he's better than Geno Smith. I think the offense is better than the Seahawks offense. I think with Jamal Adams being out on the season, it's a big difference on that team too.
Yeah.
And the Falcons, they got a lot of young, okay talent, especially in AJ Terrell too.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's going to lock DK down, but he could definitely put him to some type of a halt or something, in a big time. So I got Falcons.
I also have the Falcons.
Oh man.
All the same reasons. I really like Mariota in that offense. Kyle Pitts needs to break out.
Yeah.
It's got to happen soon.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I got the Falcons too. I don't know what to tell you. Same reasoning. This is a fun game. I know I said before that there was a challenging game, but Packers at Buccaneers. Bucs favored by 2 in this game at home. I'm going with the Packers.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Bucs have too many issues at wide receiver right now. Mike Evans suspended, Godwin injured, Julio injured. They just had to sign Cole Beasley off the street. Packers, although the Packers have not looked that good this year, they still, even though they won in pretty dominant fashion against the Bears, they still didn't look like the Packers team we're used to.
Yeah.
I do think that they do win this one here, though. I think that, and I have nothing to fact check this, I feel like Rodgers usually beats Brady in the regular season, and then Brady beats Rodgers in the playoffs. That's kind of what I feel like.
I feel like it's a lot. I mean, they're both quarterbacks.
I don't know how many times they've played in the playoffs. I might just be saying that out of nowhere. That might not even be true, but
It's only since he's been with Tampa.
yeah, I know he was in the AFC before, but it just feels like Rodgers is, and it's not even Brady. It's just Rodgers shows up in those regular season big time games. Like he does. He plays out of his mind. He takes it personal. And then, he's good in the playoffs too. That's not what I'm trying to say, but I'm going Rodgers in this one and the Packers.
Yeah, I'm going Packers as well. I just think that the Bucs have too many weapons out, and the Packers defense is a lot better than what I think people expect. And they have a little two-headed monster in the backfield as well that I think they kind of found out last week, and they take advantage of this week.
Come on, be different.
Come on, man.
Oh man, this was gonna be like my pick where I thought you guys were both gonna go Buccaneers and I was gonna go Packers. That's kind of what I had in my head. Originally I was gonna go Packers just because of the defense being better than Tampa's, but I'm gonna go Buccaneers just to switch it up on you guys. We've picked too many of the same games. I don't like it.
It's way too many.
We'll go with Tom Brady being the greatest winner of all time. Leonard Fournette might have a big game, and Cole
He
Beasley.
said on Twitter he would.
Cole Beasley isn't a scrub. I mean, if he gets activated,
he will. They said he will.
well,
They said they'll get him activated.
Mike Evans appealed. I don't know if he appeals. Can he play this?
Yeah, I mean, if it's a one-game suspension and he appeals it, then that's the only other option is him playing in the game.
The reason he might be doing that, like you said, is to play in this game. So if he does appeal it and it goes through, you might have Mike Evans, Cole Beasley. Julio, I don't know what his case is either. So
He's still out.
Is he still out?
Yeah. And shout out to Mike Evans though. What a man move. I mean, he got suspended, but he stood up for his guy, and
He does it every year to Lattimore. dude.
It's always Lattimore.
He always rocks
I
Lattimore.
love it.
We'll go Tampa. I gotta be opposite here, guys.
By the way, they have only played the playoffs once, so I don't really know what I was saying there, but I feel like Rodgers does get up for those regular season big games, though.
Yeah.
Well, we keep Google open.
So, Sunday Night Football probably looked a lot more exciting when they were making the schedules.
Mm-hmm.
Now it doesn't look as exciting. 49ers at Broncos. Niners favored by 1.5 here. TT, why don't you go ahead?
I told you guys Trey Lance was going to last the whole season. I'm sorry it went out that way. You never want to see anyone injured, especially a young stud like that. Jimmy G's a great winner, but I think the Broncos need a breakout game, and this has to be it. The Broncos are at home. Russell Wilson is, I don't know if he's just past it, if he's not it anymore, but I'm going to go Broncos here just because I think they need the win. They do have Judy out, it sounds like, too, and possibly Patrick Surtain, it sounds like, might be out now, too.
Yeah.
But I think in the end, I like the Broncos.
Yeah, so last primetime game, Wilson kind of laid an egg, but I think a lot of that had to do with Pete being in his head. I think the Broncos do win this game. I think it stays close with Jimmy G being in there, but I think that Wilson plays a lot better in this game than he did last game.
I heard somewhere that Wilson was using the same hand signals he used in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Against Seattle.
Yeah.
Really?
They knew it.
They just knew what was happening.
Yep.
I thought it was just... I really thought that was just a hard game.
That is an odd... That's a ballsy move.
Yeah. I mean, why not, though, if you have that advantage? And knowing what he's doing, take advantage
That's
of it.
what I'm saying.
Why would you not switch him?
Why would he do that? Right.
Yeah.
I would do it on purpose. I would
Yeah,
our audible to draw, I'd do that sign and throw a fly.
Yep, exactly.
I'm going Niners in this one. I think this team is a lot more confident with Jimmy G in the game. It showed. I mean, they were having a blast with Jimmy G in the game. Like you said, I feel so bad for Trey Lance.
Yeah.
And you never want to see an injury like that. You know he'll bounce back. He's young. He's athletic. He's a stud. But I mean, you even saw when Jimmy G, after a touchdown, the whole team surrounded him, were slapping his helmet. They were all having a good time. Jimmy G couldn't even get his helmet out there because they were slapping it so much.
It's his team, man. It's really his
so
team.
I'm going with the Niners on the road here. I think that this is the spark that they I don't know if they necessarily needed it, but it's there.
Yeah.
Might as well ride it. That's what you keep a guy like Jimmy G for instead of trading him for peanuts.
Yep.
Monday Night Football. Greatest time of the year. We have football so much this time of year. Dallas, the Cowboys at the Giants. Giants favored by 2.5 in this game.
Yeah.
No one expected that at the beginning of the year.
When was the last time they were favored?
Yeah. But that'll happen when you have Dak out. I mean, I think this is a must-win for the Cowboys. They have a backup QB in there, but I think they have a lot of talent, and the defense looked good last week. And I think that can get them a win this week. So it's a little sketchy, but
I'm gonna go opposite, man. I like what the Giants are doing. Ryan Daboll starting to. If he calls offensive plays, I believe with them. The play calling looks good. Saquon looks really good. Danny Dimes I've seen him throw some dimes and some not.
yeah.
But Dallas, you have a backup quarterback in Cooper Rush. I mean, a great name, but I don't know where he came from. I don't know much about him. I don't think his winning streak continues this week.
Central Michigan.
Is he Central Michigan?
Sure is.
Oh, well, that doesn't impress me much. Michigan's bad. No, I do got the Giants this week. They're at home Monday night. I want to see them win. I want them to win. I would like to see them win. You know.
I've picked against the Giants twice this year, and they burned me twice this year. They look a lot better than what I expected. We did mention in our preview podcast, we said that a lot of people are picking the Giants as the breakout team. I said I wasn't buying it. Maybe they were. Maybe they are the breakout team. I'm still not buying it. I don't care. I'm going Cowboys here. I was more impressed with Cooper Rush than I thought I would be. I mean, he beat the Bengals. I know they were at home, but he played well. He did enough to win. He didn't try to do too much. So yeah, I'm going Dallas in this game. I think that they just need to continue to survive with Cooper Rush, and I think that it continues here. If I get burned 3 weeks in a row by the Giants, then so be it.
Yeah, exactly.
So be it. But yeah, fellas, that wraps up week 3 officially here for us. With that being said, shout out to Eddie Drummond.
Shout out to John Lynch, one of the best GMs.
Wow. John Lynch.
Shout out to Jim Leonard. Take us to a win against Ohio State this week. Let's go.
Let's go.
Come on, Scotty.
Give me this dang helmet. We're out of here. That's another episode here of the podcast with the boys. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
Like, comment, get your locks in.
Is that Amon-Ra St. Brown?
Amon-Ra St. Brown. Let's get it. Go Lions.